So welcome. Thank you for showing up for yourself. And today's practice is going to be committed to the act and intention of grounding. The world is a little chaotic. There's no need for me to go into any details there. But with so much happening and so much changing at a rate faster than we can even keep up with, it's easy to withdraw, to disengage, and to even numb out and disassociate, where we stop tuning into our bodies, because we just want to find a way out of the intensity. But what we really need right now is to be fully engaged and embodied. When we're tuned into ourselves, we know what our needs are, especially through intense and complex times. And that is going to allow us to set boundaries and also engage and act in a meaningful, intentional way. So we're always doing the best that we can. So with that, we're going to just hop right in and get started. And we'll start in a seat. And I recommend sitting on top of something so the front of your hips can relax. Folded up blanket or a couple of stacked pillows is great. As you rest your hands on your thighs, feel your shoulders soften down your back. Relax your jaw, and maybe even close your eyes down. And simply tune into your breath. So notice your breath as it moves in and out of your nose. And the ways that we'll be focusing on the act of grounding throughout this practice is connecting to the sensations of our lower body, particularly our feet, and also establishing a relationship with the breath. And sensations of the lower body, sensations of the feet, it's going to help us feel that connection to the earth, like hold us here steady in the present moment. And relationship with the breath, it will actually carry us back into our bodies. Remind us that we're here and we're nowhere else. So with your attention still on your breath, begin to lengthen, deepen both your inhale and your exhale. And no need to move into strain. You just want to gently nudge on the boundaries of your lung capacity in this moment. And with these extended inhales and exhales, become aware of the spaces in between. That space between inhale and exhale, the space between exhale and inhale. And smooth those transitions out. So your breath becomes like a continuous water wheel. In the next 2 or 3 breaths, release any intentions with your breathing pattern. And sit inside the spaciousness you've created in just a minute or two. And in this space, consider what grounding and embodiment mean to you or could mean to you. And then if you'd like, create an intention for this practice. Maintain that smooth breathing and come into a tabletop position. So you can move props off to the side, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, ground down through your hands so you feel that connection, especially through thumb and index finger and all the fingertips. Inhale to lower your belly towards the floor, lift your heart up, your tailbone up, cow pose for a little back bend. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round your spine, look at your heart for cat pose, and then continue to move through at the pace of your breath. So let the smooth breathing determine the rhythm of your movements. And the breath is still that continuous water wheel. Let this be your last round of breath through these movements. And as you exhale, return to tabletop, what we call the neutral spine. So the core is gently engaged, like you have a corset on and it's being tightened just a little bit. Shoulder blades are connected to the spine on the back. Very nice. And then keeping your shoulders just as they are, hands grounded. Inhale, right knee in towards your chest. And as you exhale, start to do some hip circles. They can be little or big. Maintain the smooth breath. Might be easy to hold it or to move a little jaggedly here. And then switch directions. Just gently warming up your hip joint. That space where the lower body connects to your center. And return to tabletop. To switch sides, inhale, left knee in towards your chest. Exhale, hip circles. You might feel different side to side. And switch directions. To return to tabletop. Walk your hands one handprint out in front. Re-ground through your hands, and with the toes curled under, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Keep the knees bent to lengthen your spine, so think of lifting your hips up higher. And then one at a time, bend and straighten the knees to open up the backs of your legs. You can even send that smooth breath from the heart up to the hips and down each of the legs. So your breath is making space along with the movements. And take your time to find some stillness. Knees can be bent or straight. Doesn't really matter, it'll change throughout the practice. Resist back through your heels and inhale, roll forward to plank. Shoulders will come over the wrists. Core is activated. And without lifting your hips, push your thigh bones up to the sky. Really nice. John, inhale. Exhale, lower to your knees to come all the way to your belly. Tops of the feet rest on the floor. And before we lift up into any back bends, bring your awareness into the tops of your feet, the fronts of your legs, and your pelvis. And allow them to maintain their connection to the floor, to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward and up into Cobra. Feel the muscles of your upper back work. Stay here as you exhale. And then continue to breathe smoothly as you recommit to the grounding in your hands. And just become aware of the sensations of your body. On your next exhale, roll down through your spine to your chin or your forehead. And once more, inhale, roll up. Maybe you lift a little higher, but you certainly don't need to. Exhale, roll down. And do this a few more times at the pace of your breathing. Not looking for any certain number. You just want to warm up the spine as the lower body stays rooted. And finish up the set, the one that you're on. Roll down to your chin or your forehead. Curl your toes under. Activate your feet, empower your legs, engage your core, and from your knees or your toes, inhale to rise up through plank or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, making space along your spine and in the back of your lungs. And then on your next inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet to the front of your mat to come into a forward fold shape. Feet are hips distance apart. Keep the knees bent if you need to. And relax the crown of your head. Feel the sides of your rib cage melt towards the floor. So there's softness in your upper body. And with active legs, inhale, lift halfway, spine comes parallel to the floor. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up through halfway lift to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come together in front of your heart. And stay here, find a soft gaze or let your eyes close. And become aware of your feet. Imagine roots growing down from the four corners of each foot, the base of the big toe, inner heel, base of your pinky toe, outer heel. And notice how awake and enlivened your feet become. Maintain that and draw the arches of each foot up through the inner legs to the pelvic floor. So lower body is active, actively holding you connected to the earth. Keep that and inhale, circle your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, circle the right wrist with left thumb and index finger and side body stretch to your left. Send your breath up and down the right side of your body. And if you feel any pressure in your low back, engage your core. Inhale up through center, switch the grip. Exhale, side body stretch down to your right. Breath now moves in and out of the left side of your body. Stay connected to the four corners, the arches of your feet. Inhale, rise up through center. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Bend your knees a bit so you can plant your left hand underneath your nose. Inhale, right arm out to the right, up overhead. Right leg starts to straighten for a twist inside of your forward fold. Notice what it feels like to stay connected and active through the lower body. Exhale, right hand comes down, bend your right knee. Inhale, left arm up, left leg starts to straighten. Fluid breath in and out of the left side of your body, maybe even your left hip. And exhale your left hand down to return to forward fold. Mind's eye back in your feet, four corners, arches. And now scooch the fourth and fifth toe of each foot out to the left and the right, like you're trying to spread your toes really wide. And notice how that helps you hug your shins into the midline. Feel this power. And then bend your knees enough to plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Grounded through the hands, active through the feet. Exhale, lower down to the floor. One round of Cobra here, rooted through your lower body. And with your chin back on the floor, walk your hands out to the left and the right, one or two handprints worth. So you can tent up on the fingertips, point the elbows up to the sky like spider legs. Inhale, rise up, Cobra Variation. Stay lifted as you exhale. Engage the core. Feel the shoulder blades come together on the back. And smooth out your breath as it opens up the spine. And next exhale, roll back down. Hands back under your shoulders, toes curled under. Active body. Inhale up through plank or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up high. Notice maybe there's more space in the back of your legs than there was before. And become aware of your feet, your hands, those points of connection with the earth, and your breath. So these are all points of support. So finding a sense of grounding is a method of self-support. Inhale the right foot forward in between the hands. Exhale, lower down to your back knee. Lean the hips forward a little bit so you're opening up the front of your left hip. Stay grounded through your left hand and inhale, rotate your chest towards your right leg. Exhale, right hand rests on the thigh so you can gently press down to find a deeper twist. Feel your breath wrap around your spine down towards your hips as you breathe in and out. And continue to find that sense of shins in. So it's like you're hugging your shins towards each other even though they're at the front and the back of the mat. And exhale, right hand down. Guide your hips back in space to straighten your right leg. Half splits. Four corners of each foot are still active. Arches draw up to the pelvis. And spread the fourth and fifth toe out on each side to get that hug to midline. You can stay here or you can add a twist if that sounds like it would feel good in your outer hip. So left hand stays grounded and inhale, right arm out and up. You can even play with reaching your right hip back in space to change the stretch. And continue to breathe. So breath is still smooth even inside of all the shapes and the movements, the transitions. Exhale, hand down. Bend your right knee to return to the low lunge position. Ground your hands. Come off your left knee and step back to downward facing dog. A couple breaths here to notice any changes in the sensations of your body. And then inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right knee down. Lean your hips forward. Active feet hug to midline. Inhale, open your chest to the left. Exhale, left hand rests on top of the thigh. Breath swirls down through the spine. And exhale, left hand down, guide the hips back. Left leg starts to straighten, so the left toes point up to the sky. It's a hard flex in the left foot. And ground down through the left heel. Isometrically draw it back. So it's not going to move, but you're going to feel some intensity in the hip. And just like on the other side, you can stay here, add the twist. Inhale, open your left arm out and up. So being grounded, tuned into ourselves, it's like the foundation of our house. When we have that steady foundation, we can expand and build over time with the knowledge that what we build will hold steady. Exhale, hand down, bend your knee, walk forward for low lunge position. And with rooted hands, return to downward facing dog. Once more, a few breaths here to be aware of what's in your body. And on your next exhale, walk your feet to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Check in with your feet with that hug to center, and inhale through halfway lift up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Soft gaze or eyes closed. Awareness returns to your feet. And imagine your feet standing on soft soil. And it's so soft that your feet start to sink in just a little bit, so the soil rests on the top of your feet, almost like you're planted. And from that soil, little flowers and moss and vines, they start to grow. Maybe they gently wrap around your ankles and your lower legs. Maybe they stay close to the earth. But as you continue to breathe in and out, stay connected to this visualization. And these are tools that can help us stay connected, that can help us feel our feet on the ground. And this is a tool you can return to anytime you start to feel yourself move away from your body. So rather than trying to numb out or disengage, lean in and be a part of the experience. Let go of the visualization and maintaining that connection to the earth through the lower body. Inhale your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bend your right elbow, right hand comes to the back of your neck for a tricep stretch. Left hand can rest on top of the right elbow. And lean your head back into your forearm. Inhale here. Exhale, side body stretch to your left. Keep the core engaged. Stay equally rooted through your left and right foot, left and right leg. And inhale, rise up, both arms overhead. Exhale, bend your left elbow, right hand rests on top. Tricep stretch opposite side. Knit your lowest ribs in together so you feel the back of your lungs really expand. Inhale here, and exhale, side body stretch to your right. And notice how as you have this rootedness from the pelvis down to your feet, down to the core of the earth, it gives you the ability to make lots of space through the upper body. You can even feel the ribs on the sides of your body start to stretch apart. Inhale up through center, both arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips to come down to the earth. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold hands down, step back to plank. Maintain that connection through the lower body. And exhale down to the mat. Slide your hands down by your sides, palms face up. So this will be a different way to do locust pose with the palms facing up. See if you can inch your feet in a little closer together. Tops of the hands are going to stay on the earth. As you exhale, engage your core. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lift the feet. Center stays connected to the mat. Feet are active, shoulder blades come together so your upper body is working. And even if the breaths are shorter, keep them smooth and flowing. So in the intensity, in those moments that you wish you might be somewhere else, continue to breathe and hold steady to center. Keep the chest lifted, and on your next exhale, plant your hands underneath your shoulders, curl the toes under. From knees or toes, inhale, lift up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Long, slow, deep breaths. And the sense of embodiment allows you to reorganize, recalibrate not only your physical body, but also your mind, the thoughts that might be moving through. And that's going to have an effect on your behaviors and your actions. Inhale, right leg to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee and do some hip circles. So just like in tabletop at the beginning of the practice, but now potentially a bigger range of motion, still tuned into your breath. And switch directions. And on your next inhale, return to three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, come forward to ground the foot inside of the right hand. And bring your left heel in and down so you have warrior 2 feet. Left toes point out to the left as the right toes point forward, deep bend in the front knee. And then bring both hands inside of your right foot and walk them out to the left a little bit at somewhat of a diagonal. So it's like your torso and your arms are in downward facing dog and your lower body is in warrior 2. Use this shape to bring your thighs back behind you. So it's almost like you're sticking your butt out a little bit. And then keep that, scoop your right sit bone underneath to help deepen the external rotation of the right leg. 4 corners of the feet, arches, shins in. Keep that, walk your hands back towards your right foot. And with steady, grounded legs, inhale, rise up, warrior 2. Chest is open to the left, arms face the front and the back of the mat. And there's that deep connection in the center. Legs stay just as they are. Inhale, right arm up and back, reverse warrior. Left hand rests gently on the outside of the left leg. Open up through the whole right side of your body. One more breath in here. Exhale, hands down to frame your foot, step back to downward facing dog. We'll spend some time here. And then inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee, move into hip circles. You can imagine the action of a mortar and pestle in your hip joint, just dusting out the cobwebs, making space so that groundedness, connection to the earth that you feel up through the lower limbs can come more into your center, more into your heart. And switch directions. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot comes through to ground inside of the left thumb. Right heel in and down, warrior 2 feet. Both hands inside of your left foot, and walk the hands out to a diagonal towards the right. So torso, arms are in downward facing dog. Lower body is in warrior 2. Once more, reach the inner thighs back behind you. It's like you're trying to reach your pubic bone back behind you. So you get a little rotation, pelvic tilt rather, and lumbar curve can come back in. Keep that so your right hip stays exactly where it is, and scoop the left sit bone underneath. That's it. Walk the hands back towards your left leg. Super powerful feet, legs, and inhale, rise up, warrior 2. Try to level out the grounding between the left and the right foot, left and right leg. Core is engaged, so you're connected to your center. And inhale, reverse warrior. Hips stay where they are as you make space through the upper body. Making space for your breath to move more deeply within. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. 2 or 3 breaths here. To appreciate everything that you feel. Grounded hands, active feet. And as you exhale, walk your feet to the front of the mat, forward fold. Heel toe your feet out, mat's distance apart. And then turn your toes slightly out. Setting up for a yogi squat here. Start to sway your hips left and right as you slowly bend your knees. So you come into this moving squat pose. And continue to move, shift side to side so you're never resting. And the hips, they don't need to come down all the way. They can, but you just notice the boundaries of your body and honor them. And continue to move side to side so you're working into the inner thighs. And then release your hands to the mat if they're not there already. Keep your head low and lift your hips up. Heel toe the feet back into hips distance apart. Forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Strong core and flat back. Inhale, rise up to standing. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. And once more, tune into earth energy through your feet, your legs, your hips. Stay grounded through your right foot and inhale your left knee up in line with the hip like you're taking a giant step. So super active feet, this basic standing balance. And then use your hands to help you come into tree pose. So sole of the foot comes to the inner thigh. If that feels like too much, inner shin is a great place to be as well. You can always walk towards a wall and give yourself that additional support of a hand on the wall if that's what you need. Root through both feet. And so even as you sway, you're connected and you can balance. Imagine your breath like a gentle wind. And consider how trees can withstand some of the most intense storms. On your next exhale, return the left leg to standing balance. And then return to mountain pose, both feet on the earth. Ground down through your left foot now, switching sides. Inhale, right knee up in line with your hip. Stay here as you exhale. And now move into tree pose with the help of your hand if needed. Both feet, both legs active. From the pelvis down through each foot, send rooting energy. And from the pelvis up through the crown of your head along your spine, expand, open up. So with this sense of connection, you're ready to receive. You're ready for what might arise, what might come into your lap, whether or not you asked for it. On your next exhale, return to standing balance with the right leg. And then back to mountain pose. Soft gaze or eyes closed. And as you inhale, draw energy up from the core of the earth, through your feet, through your legs, to the center of your being. And as you exhale, feel it radiate out of your heart in all directions. Inhale earth energy up into the center, into your heart space. Exhale, feel it radiate out. Inhale your arms up overhead, palms press. Exhale, fold. And bend your knees enough to come into a seated position and move directly down onto your back. Perfect. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And maybe rock around in a circle a little bit. You can move the knees together or individually. And then when you feel ready, extend your legs long for final resting pose. Allow the legs to separate a little bit so the toes can flop out, the hips can relax. Palms face up, So your chest is open. And close down your eyes. There's nothing to focus on. And the practice of grounding can help us find a sense of stability and steadiness amidst the storms. It brings us in touch with ourselves. It creates a sense of presence. And this makes space for acceptance and meaningful action. It's a level of deeper awareness. Allow yourself to settle fully in. And please stay and rest for as long as you want. Just remember that you can handle anything that comes your way. All you have to do is take a deep breath in and feel your feet. Thank you so much, and please let me know if you have any questions.